Hey guys, welcome back to Hunt Simple. Another episode here, so thank you for joining. I'm super excited about that. And this one's going to be the recap of how my hunting season has gone so far. So are you ready? Let's do this. Whew. So my hunting season, it kind of started off slow. It has, the weather's not necessarily been cooperating. The wind has been bothering my setups and situations a lot, and it's just not been ideal for how I preseason scouted some of these areas. So this past week I realized I needed to reorganize, regroup, and come about this just a little bit differently. So in doing so, I had to pull up some maps, and when I was pulling up some maps I had to find some old scouting areas that I hadn't been in since last summer. In pulling up these maps as we're looking here, there was one area that I was real excited about, and I knew with how the wind was treating us this past week and weekend, I could possibly make it work, but it was only really going to work for a doe. I don't have any bucks daylighting yet on camera. I've seen some good ones. I'm pretty excited about how season can progress, but we're just not there yet. We're just not in that part of the season. So for me, I just made the decision I needed to, and I wanted to harvest a doe and then kind of just start progressing through my scouting. So I pulled up a couple maps. Basically, we had some wind coming from the south going northeast. And so that was creating a lot of issues, for me at least. There was a lot of guys that was having that kind of like that northeast wind, and they're striking quick and hard right now. So that's awesome. Congratulations to them. That's not how my setups are. I need basically an east to west wind to get into a couple of these locations, and it's just, we haven't had that yet. So when we do get that, hopefully I can strike, but until then, I was able to make some moves on this. As I went in, I knew this area from scouting over the summer. This area, even with a wind coming out of the south and going to your northeast, I knew that the thermals in the morning, basically since there's a creek system that comes through here, I knew that the thermals were going to be pulling down to the water and then actually back out to the west. So this bedding area that I had located out to the east or the right of where I wanted to set up my stand, I knew it would be okay until deer kind of got, I don't know, up into my 2 and 3 o'clock area. Then they could possibly start winding me, start noticing some of my scent wall or my scent. But the thermals were really helping me because it was pulling everything down in that creek, so I was in the bottom, and then straight back out to the west. So I had some things going for me, but it was just an opportunity to try a strike in this location. So everything's going good. I wake up on time. I don't even think I hit snooze. I have to ask my wife. I may have hit snooze. But coffee was automatically getting made. Gear was already prepped and organized. And I'm pretty organized. I'm pretty anal about everything has a place. It needs to go back in its place so I can grab and go. I get up to the parking lot, the trailhead. Everything's organized. I start heading up, pull up the map, start heading up into the area. And that's all where it started going downhill for me. Literally, everything I've done, everything I've prepped, the way my ethos is of operating in the woods went out the window. I literally don't think my coffee had settled in yet. It was just not working in my favor. Anything and everything I was doing was going wrong. I'm really quiet. I pride myself at being able to slink and slither through the woods. I mean, maybe some rustlings of leaves, a couple sticks cracking, maybe. That was not the case. As I was going into this area and trying to slip into this area, a couple sections I knew I had to crawl, but trying to get in, I fell twice. I mean, fell, tripped. I don't know if it was roots, logs, whatever it was. I fell. The moon was so bright that I didn't even have a headlamp on. And I still fell, but I could see the ground. My headlamp would have been dimmer than what the moonlight was projecting on the ground. So yeah, fell twice. I finally get to the tree, and I take pictures in the off season of usually the trees and what direction I need to face. So I put a waypoint on the map, and then I'll step back and take a picture of the tree. Did that. So I'm looking at a picture. I'm at the base of the tree that I'm pretty sure I need to be at. Go up in this tree. Well, wrong. I go up in the tree, and then I realize it's the wrong tree because there's no shooting lanes. The branches are in the wrong directions. I should have taken a picture here and here, but no, I just had a picture of what I was going to be seeing visually at my eye level, and I was wrong tree. So I come back down, and now it's like starting to get close to hunting time. Like, this isn't good. This isn't how I planned my morning. This is going against everything I practice and preach, per se, of being organized, being ready, having a place, and having a system. It just wasn't working. I come down, get to the other tree, start putting my sticks up in this tree. Now I'm heading up. I get up, set my platform, take my lineman's belt off because I already have my tree tether on. I use a saddle, sit back, reach down for my pull ropes. I never connected them. I don't have my pull rope for my bow or my bag. So now I'm literally up in the tree on my platform with nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I literally just issued a quick tip of how to organize and store your pull rope. It wasn't in my pocket. I didn't have it out. Nothing's going right. So I climb back down the tree. This is the second time I've come out of a tree in the morning before daybreak. And so I'm at the bottom of the tree again, hook up my lineman's ropes, or hook up my pull ropes, get back up the tree, and then get set up. And all of this hustle bustle, I finally get set up, get my bow there, look over to where I really realize this bedding area is coming out of. I'm at like the wrong angle. So the good thing with the saddle, even though yes, I was at the wrong angle, it wasn't going to be an overly comfortable shot if I was going to have the opportunity to take a shot. It's okay. It's a saddle, so that's kind of what it's for. Still, I like things just to be tidy, organized, and have its place, but it was just all going wrong. And I think I even teased in the picture of like when the stars align. There was no stars aligning. It was just wrong. I had to keep my head in the game. I knew what my goal was earlier in the week. I knew what I was setting out to do and setting out to accomplish. So I couldn't get down on myself. And that's probably one of the biggest things you can take away from this is don't get down on yourself. Everything can go wrong, yet you can still be presented with an opportunity. And that's exactly what happened for me. Everything was going wrong, yet basically at 8:05 out of that bedding area, they were transitioning. I think they were just kind of removing and starting to feed again because there was tons of movement in the woods. A couple does started walking in, and I knew I needed to, if one was going to bust me, this was a good spot and I wanted to be able to use it in the future. If one was going to bust me, I had already come to like the grips of I was going to take that doe. I was going to harvest that doe. As they're walking in, yeah, she ended up stepping into 16 yards and then presented herself with an opportunity to keep walking or possibly bust me. And she started to look up, and that was just not the game plan. That's not what we were doing. And so yeah, I let it fly. I did. I harvested that doe and I took that shot. And that's emotional. It's always exciting, but yet emotional. So I took the shot. Set the bow down, rehung it. And then that's just kind of where I sat for a bit. I just kind of came to terms with what just happened. I shot that doe. I know I put a good shot on it. Everything was lining up the way it needed to. You cannot practice enough. And you want to get to the point where you're practicing so much that even like in Maverick and Top Gun, he's saying, don't think, just do. I just want to be able to react in the woods, and that's it. When she came in, I wasn't thinking about, oh, I need to get my bow drawn. I need to center up my housing with my peep. How am I holding the bow? Am I gripping it correctly? Am I leveling the bow before the shot? Am I bending at the waist to take the shot? I don't want to be thinking about any of that. I want to have practiced all these situations enough. And I think that's important for everyone else and new hunters to practice it enough that you're not thinking about that. You're just doing. And the last thing you're thinking about is shot placement. That's all I'm thinking about is at her angle, way she was looking, the way she was standing, what was the shot placement going to be like? Is this going to be an ethical shot? Is this going to be a shot that honors her? Because in taking this shot, I'm taking her life. I just want it to be fair to her. And that's how it happened. It literally happened that quick. I mean, I'm struggling, 5 o'clock in the morning, driving, nothing has gone right. And then by 8:05, deer down. And it was super exciting. Super, you can't even express it. It's just like those emotions. It's just, you're so thankful. So yeah, but took the shot. She ran 20 yards. And then you could hear her just pile up into the distance. I waited a little bit and then just started packing up. Came down the tree much smoother than I went up the tree, that's for sure. And then at that point, it was just starting the track. And I have some video of tracking it. And then when I finally get to put eyes on her, it's all emotional. It's emotional to me. It doesn't matter if it's a doe. It doesn't matter if it's a buck. I want to normalize. If you're new to this and you're going on public land and you're able to harvest a doe, good for you. That is a challenging thing to do. So good for you. Don't let anyone talk down to you or dismiss what you just accomplished. A, you're a new hunter. B, you're taking a giant risk of getting into a sport that you may have never been introduced to until early on adulthood. So at that point, awesome. Awesome. When I harvest a doe, I still get the same excitement and the same emotions that I do with a big buck. So don't let anyone dismiss that. You're doing this for you, and that's it, not for them. It's just you. So always remember that. You'll see a couple videos coming up, or a couple screen clips that I'm going to show here of the tracking, the blood. You'll also see a post-harvesting quick tip of how I kind of clean up. And then you'll also see some pictures of the animal. I just wanted to say that in advance, just in case you are squeamish or you don't want to see this. If that's you, go ahead and just hit stop and move on. That's okay. You just don't want to see that yet. If you want to see some of the tail end of this and how I finished out that morning, then here we're going to go. You're going to see that. I'm going to clip into that. And then again, thank you for watching. This has been awesome. I'm enjoying this. Thank you. It's always humbling every time. It's an emotional experience, so just very thankful, and just it's a blessing. She gave her life, so thank you.